Hello and welcome to Against the Storm, version 0.38, the Lighthouse update. This update includes a few new new glade events, including one revolving around the Fishman's Lighthouse that you can see here on the preview image, and also includes some new decorations, new functionality for decorations, and some new deeds, some changes to the Scarlet Orchard, most specifically around the archaeological component, and some other UI, UX, and bug fixes. So the big change is, of course, some new glade events. 3 new glade events, in fact. The first one is the Fishman's Lighthouse. The second one is the Escaped Convicts. And the third one is Destroyed Cage of the War Beast. Fishman's Lighthouse, the lore behind that is that once upon a time, there must have been a coast and a harbor here. Now this place is haunted by fishmen, and the waters have withdrawn. An ominous light is coming from the top of the lighthouse. Escaped convicts, dangerous convicts from the smoldering city, are hiding in the forest. They somehow managed to free themselves during transport. You can decide their fate, welcome them and employ them in your settlement, or send them back to the citadel where they will be punished. And Destroyed Cage of the War Beast, a destroyed Royal Guard camp. It looks as if one of their war beasts got out and razed the entire encampment to the ground. The beast, usually obedient to his masters, must have been provoked by something. So these are all new glade events, and specifically with the Lighthouse, along with some of the other glade events, like the totems and things that you could restore and keep in your town as decorations, are now movable, just like the archaeological results of the archaeological digs are. They also change the way that those types of objects count as decoration. So before, each object, regardless of its size, counted as one decoration. Now the objects count based on their footprint. So a 3x3 glade event converted over to be kept will now count as 9 decoration points, and I believe they all count for the 3rd tier of decorations. They also added 2 new decorations at 1 of each at the 1st and 2nd tiers, a garden and a park, and those 2x2s count as 4 points for each of those levels. There are some new deeds based around archaeology. I won't go through the details of them, but there are 3 different archaeological skeletons you can dig up, and winning the game with each one gives you a deed, and winning the game with all 3 of them gives you another deed. So there's quite some advantages there to uncovering those, kind of similar to the way uncovering the giant life forms in the marshlands works, which is the intent, I think. But on top of that, the archaeologist's office also has several changes made to it. First of all, it's much cheaper to build. I think it's like now maybe 1 each of wood, fabric, and brick, or something fairly cheap, whereas it was quite a bit more before. And this is so that you can get it built much quicker earlier in the game. And also, the 1st tier of upgrades in the archaeologist office is free, which is kind of nice. But not only that, all tiers have 3 possible upgrade choices, and there are 3 tiers or 4 tiers. There are a lot of tiers. So the upgrades there are more varied now. There are 4 new ones, in fact: Ancient Strength, Forbidden Tools, Carved in Stone, and Ancient Practices. They've done, like I mentioned, they did a few other changes to the Scarlet Orchard besides the archaeology component. Actually, did they change anything other than the archaeology component? No, actually they didn't. So never mind. It's all based on archaeology, but that makes sense because that's most of what was new in that biome, was the archaeology. They've also done some other UI rebalance types of things. So you can indeed, You can read through those in the patch notes. I'm not going to go through every single one, but the mention of all glade events that you convert, that you keep, are movable now. Makes planning a town a little bit easier, because you don't have to plan around it if you want to use it. You can literally plan your town and then move it there, just like you can move the archaeology skeletons. You can now pickle eggs as pickled goods. The grove has been renamed to the Forester's Hut, which, I guess that's okay, because the other one's a woodcutter. The camp is a woodcutter's camp. And crystallized dew now takes 60 seconds to harvest there. And it can have 4 workers instead of 2. Which makes sense, because with the things being longer to harvest, you need more workers to produce a decent amount. Some orders have been rebalanced. And in the woodcutter's camp, they showed this on their stream. If you watched their stream on Wednesday, I think it was Wednesday, they showed that there's a new feature in the woodcutter's camp. Instead of having 2 separate checkboxes, one to mark cunningly marked trees and one to avoid cutting any glades, now it's a drop down with kind of a combination of the two, so it's a little more explanatory to users on what actually is happening when you pick the options. And you can also propagate those settings to other camps. And of course, you can set the default mode still in the options menu. You can move the camera with the right mouse button now. And they also have the ability to rebind mouse keys, the 3 basic keys, left, middle, and right, to do different things in the keybinds. I think most everything else is much more minor. If you know of anything else that you thought was major in the patch notes that I didn't cover, by all means, let me know in the comments. Let everyone else know in the comments too. But I think that's the extent of the big things. I usually don't highlight the bug fixes, because they're bug fixes. If you had a bug, it was fixed, kind of thing. It's not really something to really go over in detail. It's more about the features and the changes that are kind of bigger changes. But one thing that I didn't mention is that they are still working on the camp changes. Those have not been put into place in this update. They're planning it for the next one. They want to do a little more testing and iteration on it, and they also want to update some of the camp artwork. So they've decided to wait for another 2 weeks for that. So when we come back with another patch notes read on December 8th, maybe they'll be in there. But I think we're going to end this here. And let me know, as I said, if you know of anything that I've missed that you feel is important and you want to share. I'm willing to pin comments if they are indeed of something that should have been mentioned and wasn't. So let me know in the comments. You can also reach out to me on Discord and discuss the game, and to discuss it with other folks playing the game. You can find the Discord link in the description below, and join us there to chat about the game or any other games that you're interested in. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.